Ruined my brain on Phenibut. I made a post at the beginning of this month and thought I'd post an update for anyone who might be interested. Here's basically what happened with the last post. I'm a long-time Phenibut user, for 2 or 3 years. And right around December my doses were increasing due to unavoidable stresses and my stupid lack of knowledge and research on Phenibut. I was one of the dumb ones around 15 grams at the start of December, but due to interviews and school speech classes and stuff just before the holidays my use spiked every day, and I think I had approximate 30 grams on New Year's night. After that my brain stopped working right. I had constant withdrawal-like symptoms, rapid heart beating, terrifying dread, panic attacks, and I couldn't sleep at all. I was extremely paranoid also, and had anhedonia like crazy. At one point I checked myself into the ER, was there for 16 hours in the waiting room, and waiting for a doctor to show up, to basically just tell me he had no experience, and that I was out of luck, on my own, and that he was advised by poison control to just keep taking it, and wean myself off or just try to quit cold turkey. Even though I was already going through these symptoms, weaning off was impossible, and he assured me it was livable to do CT. I didn't do much research, and tried to quit cold turkey, or go without at least, for as long as I could to maybe try to reset my brain, or fix my GABA receptors, but, no luck. I made it as far as exactly 48 hours before the effects became unbearable. Auditory and visual hallucinations and my hands hurt like crazy, so I dosed again, just to keep that at bay. My symptoms pretty much stayed the exact same, and I was maintaining around a 15-gram daily dosage just to stay alive. I dropped out of school, called out of work for the foreseeable future, and locked myself in my house all day every day with constant heart racing. Couldn't sleep, anxiety and anhedonia but livable. I lost all hope, knew my GABA receptors were shot and scheduled the soonest appointment with a doctor, not at an ER. As an update, it was around a week after I set the appointment before I was sitting in front of a doctor without much of any improvement. It was a week of hell, the same symptoms the entire time. Nothing over the counter I tried could help, not L-theanine, magnesium, kava or chamomile tea took any edge off. The only thing that let me get some sleep was alcohol. I would stay up till 12 or 1 trying to sleep, and eventually would just drink like 6 shots of Fireball in a cup and easily pass out for 4 or so hours. Alcohol had an immediate effect of calming my heart right the freak down, just in case anyone else goes through this. The little bit of sleep was the only thing that let me get through it. The first doctor's appointment wasn't much help. I printed out the baclofen study that everyone says to take. However, she wasn't going to take my word for it and prescribed me a 150mg daily dose of muscle relaxant. She prescribed my 25mg of the anti-anxiety drug Visceral and an antipsychotic called mirtazapine, which had the main side effect of super drowsiness, instead of prescribing a regular sleeping pill. The Visceral was 100% useless and didn't stop panic attacks or the general anxiety. However, the mirtazapine did an excellent job knocking me out the first day I used it, but not much of an effect after the first day. Even while taking everything under the sun I could only manage 2 hours of sleep a night. The next day, the doctor finally prescribed baclofen over the phone, after doing her own research and making some calls. She got me a prescription for 5mg twice a day. At 5mg it was completely useless. However, taking both at nighttime in combination with everything else got me enough sleep to function. However, throughout the day I still had panic attacks and lots of anxiety. I eventually got her to prescribe me 10mg twice a day, and it worked great. I finally felt normal, I could sleep at night, and it had an immediate effect at stopping most of the side effects. This worked out for me really well, and since I felt normal for once, I was able to cut my dose of Phenibut every day from 15 grams to eventually 13.5 grams at the lowest with livable side effects, and slowly migrated my Phenibut dosage to 5 PM instead of in the morning to help with sleep. It worked great until exactly a week after the baclofen stopped working. The same thing that happened with the Phenibut. I was going through the same withdrawals, panic attacks, anxiety, and back to 2 hours of sleep. Taking the back or not taking it had no change on my symptoms, so I stopped or took it sporadically. Throughout all of this craziness I remained on my 15 grams a day of Phenibut regimen, and something strange began to happen. I soon found myself able to get 4 hours of sleep, then 5, then 8, and pretty soon I felt like my regular old self from the hours of 6 PM to 7 AM. I could sleep like a baby, laugh, enjoy a movie, go shopping, or whatever. I felt extreme anxiety and had a few panic attacks throughout the day until when I dosed the Phenibut again. So that's where I'm now. I think it finally came full circle yesterday. I didn't have much anxiety and no panic attacks, and I felt fine all day with the exception of some slight social anxiety when I was out. My dose last night, I took a leap and stepped my dose down from 15 grams and tried for 14.5, and I made it okay today. Just slight anxiety and a very tiny depression attack thing. Baclofen still doesn't seem to have any effect. I'm not sure how it's going to work out tomorrow or how well I'm going to sleep tonight. I might have to go back to 15 and taper slower, but so far things are looking up for me. So just a heads up for anyone who experiences this receptor death thing, the only solution is stability. If I was a 3-year user at doses as high as 30 grams, any amount is possible to recover from.